Trap Lord Ross. Trap Lord Ross. Academics. Since everybody being invited to the round table. Trap Lord Ross. You are so damn wrong. So wrong. Academics. Same thing. Trap Lord Ross. You fail to take accountability for the truth of how you got to this point. How you arrived in this conflictual space. You in London, but I'm gonna group you right in so you can get a real full context of what you failed to mention and admit, because you made a lot of negligent actions in your speech. Very negligent. Well, let's talk about it. Traveler Ross, you in London. You love hip hop, you love rap, you love gangster rap, whatever you want to term it. You became obsessed. You didn't make that admission. Your obsession led you to find a way to exploit what you were obsessed about. So, no different than any other white man or woman, girl or boy, supremacist, you are obsessed with black culture and black people. And that led you to find a way to exploit that, your obsession. Now, your obsession led you to get involved in a conflict and in a constraint that has nothing to do with you. You got so obsessed that you involved yourself in a group of people you don't belong to. But you never made that admission. You were negligent with that. Okay. So yes, the Black American community, yes, we have a constraint. We have a plague. We have a disaster with genocide. And it's been very increasingly detrimental to the advancement of us as a whole. But what you are illiterate about is the fact that that is not your issue. You are not warranted to be involved. Your participation is not required. And just like Chicago Dave told you, your involvement only spurs the conflict. You're not mediating it. The intervention is amongst the black parents, the black men and women in that community, in our group. That's where the responsibility is mandatory. That's where the involvement and intervention and interception is mandatory. Not from a white man in London. Because you are abrupt to the mediation that can be had. We, as a community, we can get to the individuals that's involved in these fatal conflicts. Parents can talk to all parties involved. Adults can intervene. There can be massive intervention. But when you get involved, You become destructive to the intervention that's occurring. I don't know how you're not literate enough to understand that. So yes, you have rappers saying these things about actions they've committed, about the immorality in their day-to-day life that they have accrued. But it's not for you to get involved with, and it's not for you to spur. Because we can get to everybody that's involved in these conflicts. We can't get to you. You're in London. We can't stop you from uploading. We can get one of ours to put the gun down. We can get opposing sides to talk. We can come up with opportunities. We can create harmony. But your actions are destructive. They're counterproductive. You're exploiting your obsession. You are a nuisance. You are a detriment. So yes, we are fully aware, conscious, literate of the gun violence rate among our group. But it's for us internally to deal with and manage and mitigate and hedge. It's not for you, white man, to get involved with. DJ Academics, you know the harm and endangerment you have caused with your actions, but at least you take accountability. But where you are wrong is your ideology about freedom of press, journalism, and how that applies to Trap Lord Ross and his interference and destruction that he causes when he uploads these videos. Academics. Nobody is going to admit on camera who's doing what in the community. What's known don't have to be explained, but that don't mean that there's not an accountability factor. We are well aware, you and every other black man knows what's going on. But it's our responsibility to make corrective actions, to have an opposing influence, to be an opposing illustration. But where you are erred is in your defense of Trap Lord Ross. He's obsessed, and you were too. Your obsession led you to do what you did. Difference is, you interact with the community in which you belong to. Trap Lord Ross doesn't interact. And his obsession has led him to have a false sense of entitlement to be involved in internal conflicts that he has no obligation, that he has no warrant, that he has no justification to be involved with. So academics, there is accountability being upheld. But there's negligence on Trap Lord Ross's behalf. And though he can bring up all these facts about what an artist said or whatever, whoever he's obsessed with, whatever black man or black boy he's obsessed with, what they say and what they do, although he can bring up all those facts, it still remains a fact that it's an internal constraint. It's internal solutions. And there are people doing the work. But it's not morally righteous for Trap Lord to do what he did. It's okay to be obsessed. But it's immoral for you to get involved in another group's affairs. You know this. Look at America. Look at American politics. We can take this same concept and apply it to the broader political landscape. So Trap Lord Ross, what you did was uncivilized, but it was actually a natural action, because that's what all white Americans do. You obsessed, but you don't want to be close in association. You want to have this cohesion from afar. But you don't want to actually be aligned with the people. So in Chicago, yeah, you would be an op. Op activity. But what you are neglecting to realize is that group to group, you opposition. So any action that you commit or you make when it comes to our culture, our heritage, there's no your, our. You are separate, you are divided, you are segregated. It's going to be a opposing action. It's going to be opposing to everything that we stand for, that we strive for. And last thing we need is for gangster rap to be sensationalized by a Trap Lord Ross. We know what the labels are doing. We well aware. We well aware. We know what the municipalities are failing to do. We well aware. That's why it's internal. It starts in the home with us first. You are not required. Your participation and involvement is intolerable. You in violation.